5,100 years ago, the whole earth was again ruled by one king, Yudhishthira, Pandava, survivor of World War Zero at Kurukshetra battlefield, passed the throne to his son Parikshit, who stopped Mr. Kali attacking a holy cow. There was nowhere in the world for Kali to seek refuge. This is the etymological world map of Bharat calculated by Purushottam Nagesh Oak, ordered by continent, highlighting some of his 206 references from 1,200 pages of a Vedic world, and adding some of my own findings. Ramayana references are from 17 million years ago. Mahabharata refer to 5,100 years ago. That's the time frame of this world map. Its rift began here on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the site of World War Zero, and 1.6 billion deaths in 18 days, including 53 world kings. Some heirs were too young to fight. Like Kashmir, they hold king's lineage from 5,600 years ago. It seems sage Kashyap created Kashmir millions of years ago, but there is an older contender relating to Rama's son Kasha. God Krishna, stationed at Dwarkadish, asked all to choose sides, but pledged he would never lift a weapon. Gujarat is no stranger to cyclical flooding. Supreme God Krishna reclaimed 96 miles of land here and built 900,000 palaces, which 16,100 were for his queens, whom he saved from Bomatur. 116 million years ago it was built by Raivataka via Vishvakarma, the divine architect, and its doorway name still holds several names in the area. The local king of Magadha was on Krishna's side. After the war it became the Mauryan Empire. One can imagine his headquarters were here, but may have helped rule even other continents, like Queen Victoria managing just 70% of their then known world. Rajarga, Royal Mountain, formerly Magadha's first capital, Girivaraja, means an enclosure of hills. Many dynasties rose and fell. Aryanka, Pradyota, Shishanaga, Brihadartha. You've changed names like Vajramati, Bharadratha, Pura, and Kushakarapura. Clearly, Dwapara Yoga dry wall knowledge is extant for 40 kilometers. The latest relics of habitation is just 25,000 years old. That's already old enough to predate Aristotle's tag of Cyclopean architecture, originally meaning giant stone blocks that two mules couldn't budge, even the smallest block. Sometime between Ramayana and Mahabharata, or even after, Magad once ruled Nepal and Bangladesh, lately turning it into the Mauryan Empire. After the war, the Pandava brothers checked that these kings gave fealty to their brothers for their brother, the world king Yudhishthira. Matsya kingdom is in both the Ramayana battle of 10 kings and Mahabharata. Matsya means fish, founded by King Matsya, born as a twin inside a cursed fish, is eventually connected to the genealogy of Mahabharata kings. Being coeval with grandfather Bhishma doesn't frame the time easily, because latter was a long-living son of river Ganga. Neighbouring Chedi, ruled by Shishupala, an ally of Jarasandh of Magad and Duryodhan of Kuru. Chedi scripturally means oyster, and after Matsya you may be wondering if they ate them. King Matsya was a friend of Indra, the king of heaven, but Vasu said one can eat fish, so he fell from heaven. On earth he said the same, so he fell to the netherworlds. Queen Kunti supplied 2 kingdoms, north and south. Verdant plains grow much corn, now 50-50 staple of India and rice. Apara Kunti means father. Her armies were excellent, but were wiped out by Bhishma. Panchala means 5 clans. King Drupad of Panchala gave 43% of Krishna's army. Another way of looking at it is white versus red. Latter were 37% more populous in battle. Isn't it strange that this is the only world ocean named after its owner? This is what rule Britannia dreams to be left with. Instead, Britain has to make do with continental shelf regulations. Starting clockwise at 7 o'clock, reading international tri-letter country codes, ZAF means South Africa, so it's 1652 colonial Dutch spelling, unionized by the British in 1815. The same year for the negative terms blackie, decivilize, and rat, meaning got rot, but you can pause and read the rest. Africa, their school books know they are Kushites from Kusha, son of Ram, dropping the R, also spelled Kushan. So much as Kushadvipa, the continent, was Shankdvip or Crouch Island for its conch shape. Some places are named for the majority in each yuga. Compare Kusha with Orissa. Koikois, Sitikwata Kuja, and Koshangane. Mauritius, they say themselves, was Mauritius over 17 million years ago, which is double their oldest surviving but relatively new volcanic base. They have a ram mandir in every village, 20 temples in their capital. Their beach particles and underlying crust, however, is 3 billion years old. At 9 o'clock, TZA, Tanzania, is a 1964 merge of two countries. Tanganyika, according to Oak, Nayak, meaning great leader, whom they named a lake after. Zanzibar, says etymon means coast of the Zengi people, Arabic coast, but Oak says it's older Kanchi Pur, meaning position of the Kanchi, who were Mahabharata brave warriors mentioned in Karnaparva. Backing this is the port of Dar es Salaam, which was Devarish Alayalam, gateway to the Temple of Gods. Mali on the west side, Somalia at 10 o'clock, all separated by the Sahara, which is Sagar, or sea, dried up. Also a Vedic emperor name. Both Mali and Somali were Ravana's Kshatrap-governor relations who fled from Lanka in the 24th Treta Yuga, also the name of an Adavan leader fighting in a higher realm around this first Satya Yuga. Bilad al-Sudan, Africa's third most spacious country, was named by Arabs in 1842 to mean country of blacks. But 3,100 years ago, it was the Kush Empire from Meru in the south, through Egypt to Memphis on the Mediterranean. Its capital, Khartoum, rather than meaning safflower, acquired or rivers meet. I agree with Oak Sanskrit Kamrut, the same old name of Kush kingdom's oldest excavation at Karama, as well as Egypt's old name Kemet, meaning black earth. By the way, Meru is the name of a Vedic holy mountain, of which its alias is Sumeru. So notice Sumer were their neighbors. Both Egypt and Kush in turn say they are from Punt land. Some believe they came from Hindu Kush mountains. By 1690s, the Kush was translated as killers, but trade items in texts are clearly from India. Punt, the home of pundits and gods, aka Panks. But which gods? The 4-armed and 3 lion-headed gods, like Brahma's showing 4 arms and 3 heads, but has a 4th head that one cannot see as is facing behind. Ashoka's 2,300-year-old colonial Indian date tying with the Buddha of the year 500 is bettered by the scriptural 3,900-year-old Ashok tying with the Buddha of the same name. Notice the unlimited heads of Krishna's universal form, unlimited hands of Narasimha the lion, killing Hiranyakashipu, also seen in Kush temple pillars, accurately mirroring Krishna's 4th featured avatar coming out of a pillar to protect Prahlada. Coincidentally, Kurma is the name of Krishna's 3rd avatar, but is turtle-bodied. That for other cultural parallels like American Indian, a short edition. Below Eritrea and Djibouti is Ethiopia, formerly called Abyssinia, Ab Sindhu, people from waters of the Sindhu, that is. To round off this continent that touches the Indian Ocean is Egypt, in a similar meaning to Ethiopia of what they called themselves 900 years ago. HBSH is haberdashery, a mixture of people. Likewise, Thomas Morris's History of Hindustan and 74 call Egypt Mishrastan, land of mixed races. From a year 600 source, Ethiopians and many other countries even agree they descended from Cush, son of Ram, just spelled differently. The real difference is they are millions of years apart. Time then takes a shortcut with Nimrod, their first usurper. After the Kurukshetra war, Morris wrote his Sanskrit name was Nirmaryada, meaning unscrupulous person of unrestrained behavior, which brings us to the final connection of Oak's African tally, that Colonel Alcott, a former president of the Theosophical Society, says by Egypt's own records, they sailed from the Indian Ocean from Punt, or Panks, the home of their gods and pundits, sages and seers. Manipi Hall refers to Egypt's time as Kamit, Ka or Kumrit, meaning black earth. By the way, pyramidal great blocks are considered to be piled up by Surya worshippers, the northern solar dynasty. Egypt was Kamit or Kumrit, solar Surya worshippers are known for their giant block buildings like in Egypt and Sudan, but there are actually pyramids all over the world in countries we are not taught in school. Cairo, Kahira, Kauravas, the administrators of Dwapara Yuga before the war. Its Azar is the Ishvara, meaning controller like Caesar, Kaiser, Tsar. Alexandria is the estuary was Alakshendra, while Ophir, Sindhu, Suvir, like the Mahabharata name, but Here was where they disembarked from Punt. By 1800, it took 2.5 years to return. But Black Pharaohs have Puntland Somali origin. Rabda is the Greek name, formerly Rupavati. The rest we shall explore leading to the Middle East. Like and subscribe if you want to see more.